Hey guys, happy couple here. Today's video is 5 signs you might be dating a psychopath.
Don't forget to subscribe. It's that red button.
And don't forget to hit the bell.
Ding, ding.
So, we're gonna preface this video by saying this is not theoretical. So this is real life. This isn't textbook stuff. This isn't theoretical about something. This is like we've lived it and we've helped other people with these exact situations we're gonna talk about today.
Sometimes people can be overly charming in an insincere way. And when you start dealing with someone whose emotions are fake and put on as, here's my persona, but I'm not gonna let you really see me because I'm not really who I say I am, and I'm not really so nice, so I'm gonna pretend to be nice. I might get you some presents or give you some weird compliments that seem more like
They're a little jabby.
they're a little insulting,
Yeah.
even though they're compliments. When this starts to present itself in this person's personality, realize you're not seeing something that is not there. You are seeing something that is there that is trying to be hidden.
And don't doubt yourself on it, just trust your own judgment. We've both had it in relationships, romantic relationships, we've had it in business relationships, friends. You look at the person who's there, you see the actions of what's actually being done, you see what they're actually saying to you and what they're doing.
And how you feel.
Yeah, and if the dots aren't connecting, just realize, trust your gut. So manipulative, mind games, kind of like super duper control-y would be kind of the second category of thing you can see. And control-y doesn't mean that you're super affectionate and actually care for somebody,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not what it is. If you're like saying one thing, or you have somebody who's saying something to you and they actually mean something else and they're testing you on something, that person's not being a straight shooter, and it's just not fun to deal with. For us, that has not led to happy, long-lasting relationships. So we really look for the person who's contributing back equally, who cares as much equally, is willing to share, give and take. It's an awesome thing to have. The nitpicky and then the mind games and all that stuff, it's not worth it. And the other part that's kind of interesting about that is that sometimes it kind of gets ingrained in society. So if you've ever done that, I've done that before. So I'm not even saying, hey, I judge you because you've done that. I've done it.
We've all done it.
Yeah. What we're saying though is it's not worth it to keep doing that and to keep having to have that be part of the relationship.
It's not then a co-create. Why be in a relationship if it's not something that's actually going to enhance your life? If a relationship is making your life worse in any arena, love, friendships, work, you name it, if a relationship is making your life worse, why do that?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a relationship and you're in a relationship, we're gonna go on the assumption that you want it to make your life better and you want it to make the other person's life better, because really, why else would you do it? So in that sense, it's gonna be a mutual contribution, a mutual create, and if one person is like trying to make it great and the other person's trying to rip the other person to shreds, this is not a good relationship.
No.
Generally, if someone does something that they maybe shouldn't have done, they're gonna feel kind of bad about it. That's like a natural, correct response.
Really?
Hey, I messed up and I feel bad about it.
Really?
Yeah. Now that doesn't mean that you want to sit and like wallow in guilt and misery. Like that's not good. But feeling like, hey, I did something wrong. I should probably take some responsibility for this, learn something from it, be honest about it, grow from that learning. These are correct responses to making a mistake. If someone just doesn't feel bad about anything, they don't see consequences for anything, they don't take responsibility, and anything that goes wrong or isn't good is put on someone else, well, this is your fault or their fault, and they can't own up and go, I messed up. That's not a good sign.
The other point on that that's kind of interesting is your own integrity is really tied in with that. Like if you feel something is wrong or a situation is wrong, but the other person doesn't, that doesn't mean you need to shift your point of view.
Yeah.
Generally, they're probably not correct in that, or they have a totally different moral code than you do. And just realize that's a really big difference, and you don't need to get pulled in a direction that's not ideal for you.
Yeah.
because of that, you can continue setting a good example for other people. So risky behaviors, the next one on our plate. We're not saying you'll never have any risk. Walking outside, you have risk. Staying inside, you have risk. I mean, the reality is there's always risk.
It's like doing impulsively risky things that might put not only them in danger, but might put you in danger, might put someone else in danger. If someone wants to go, you know, bungee jumping on their own and they have their own ideas of risk, not risk, whatever, like, okay, if they're putting their own life or your own life on the line or making decisions that are gonna affect your relationship negatively without going over it with you, that kind of thing, like, there's risk and then there's just kind of impulsively stupid.
I've done skydiving, for example, and my first time I went skydiving, I was like, oh, is there an alternative to having somebody connected to you? You go tandem usually is your first bunch of times. I was like, is there an alternative? And the place I went had an accelerated training program. So my first thing was 5 hours of training. And basically you go and do a bunch of training, you learn how to do it. So you basically get to jump out of a plane yourself. You jump with 2 instructors next to you, but they're just not attached to you at all. It's the first step when you actually say, hey, I'm gonna learn to do skydiving. I decided just to do that my first time. So I pulled my own chute, I did my own landing. That's a little exciting, but
it's risky, but you also studied for it, prepped for it.
It was calculated.
Had people there. Next point is someone having like a crazy ego. Now, I am all for knowing your own worth, being confident, being a rock star, and knowing it and owning it. There is another point when you are putting out so much self-importance, like I'm so great, and doing that in a way where you're putting other people down or making other people feel less than you. Know you're the best, but also lift other people up and make them feel like the best. That's a really good balance. Empower people to be their best and also be your best, and let everyone know that they're rock stars. So when people have that on this like reverse thing where they're the only one that's good and everyone else is lower than them, definitely a trait of a cray-cray.
Yeah, and you can see that also in a business setting where somebody's basically working to uplift you, even if it's somebody who has a lot more experience. We're very fortunate in the fact that, you know, we've been able to work with people who are super successful in their respective fields and helped us tremendously in getting going. But those people were so uplifting and they contributed so much to life. And then you have the people who are just like, I am the most important person in the world and you suck. And you're like, wow, really? You know, and you never feel great after that. So you'll see as one common trait amongst all these things, you don't ever feel great being around somebody with any of these characteristics. You know, and the more they stack up, the more cray-cray you got.
Honestly, the majority of people are not like this. The majority of people are really good people who are trying to do good things in life. So keep your eye out and your heart open for those people and get rid of the cray-crays.
One final little point on that I think is important to mention. If you feel like, man, you feel bummed out because there aren't lots of good people in the world, you're probably surrounded by one or more of these people.
Yeah.
Like what starts to happen is it kind of creates this like shade over your eyes where you just kind of think the world's just dark and grim. It's these people doing that. So you start to spot that and eject them out of life. You're gonna find it's a very bright and shiny world that we actually have. Even though, you know, there's moments and there's weird stuff that happens. It's actually a really fantastic world that we have and fantastic people.
We hope that these tips helped to help you be aware of people that might be in your life that might not be the best. You can also use these to then find people that are really genuinely good people. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.